I'm Bob Singh here today. Now today we're doing an unboxing of the 2012 edition of the Apple TV. This does look exactly the same as the 2011 edition. It's mainly the software that's been changed, but I'll get into that in the review. So this is an Australian version, so the plug will be different to what I normally use, so I will have to buy some sort of adapter, of course. But the price, there is a big price difference, if you're wondering. In the UK this costs £99. In Australia it's $109, which works out to £66, so it's a third off pretty much, so it's quite a big price difference. So obviously I've taken the tape off now, and we'll get into the box. So you simply slide the cover off, and you've got the Apple TV right here in front of you. Put that to one side for now, it's quite small. You also get the remote, as well as your Australian plug, which I'll buy an adapter for later on, and a setup guide, and that's about it. So on the back, on this thing, you haven't really got much on there. You've take the plastic off the Apple TV, sort of tape covering everything. So the ports you get a Ethernet, optical audio, HDMI, USB, and obviously the power cord, and that's pretty much it. It's about the size of your hand, obviously considering the size of your hand, but that's pretty much it. And that's the remote next to it with a sort of D-pad, menu, play and pause button, and a select button, and that's all that's on the remote. So yeah, that's just my really quick unboxing of the Apple TV. Stay subscribed if you want to see the review with the new software in there, the 2012 version, and everything else. So yeah, thanks for watching.
Good morning, I'm Kristen Folletti and welcome to News Desk on SiliconANGLE TV for Wednesday, December 12th, 2012. Apple continues to feed the TV rumor mill. Marissa Mayer gives a major remodel to what product? And the Russians are exploring new territory. Joining us now to provide his breaking analysis is SiliconANGLE contributing editor John Casaretto. Welcome back, John.
Good morning.
Although Tim Cook has remained hush-hush about Apple's plans for getting into the TV market, Apple is reportedly working with component suppliers in Asia to test several TV set designs, including a large-screen, high-resolution TV. Officials at some of Apple's suppliers, who declined to be named, have said that Foxconn, the manufacturer who assembles the iPhone and iPad, has been collaborating with Japan's Sharp Corporation on the design of the new television. John, do you see these as strong indications that we could be seeing an Apple TV sooner than expected?
Yeah, these definitely appear to be signs, early indications of just that. Again, this is just design. It's unclear how far along they are. But one thing we do know is that we can predict that with Foxconn involved in the picture, we're probably looking at some rapid development in terms of the manufacturing process. But there's still possibly, quite logically, a long way to go on this. But with Foxconn in the picture, that adds that element of, they could be very advanced at this stage. It's unclear. We'll just have to read the tea leaves and see what shakes down.
Apple has been trying to make an entrance into the living room for years. In August, the Wall Street Journal reported that Apple has been talking with major cable operators, including Time Warner Cable, about letting consumers use an Apple device as a set-top box for live television and other content. Is it more likely that we would see something like this implemented before an actual Apple TV is manufactured? What's your opinion?
Well, it doesn't appear that they have any deals with operators right now to get that device going. So there's going to be some challenges in getting them on board. But, it's Apple TV does have a base, and I think that they're always looking for features there. And Apple tends to be quite evolutionary with their products. So we'll see these things adopted and integrated, and even with the introduction of a television, a TV, in the near or distant future, I think that we'll see a gradual adoption of features as the products evolve, and that way it's more familiar, they've got some experience with it, and they're able to develop these relationships with the operators and such.
What kind of issues is Apple having with getting this consumer-based set-top box idea off the ground? Why do you think it's been such a difficult area for them to break into?
Well, part of that is the content. There's a lot of things. The TV market is a cutthroat business. Margins can be slim. There's a number of competitors there. There's some real logistics and supply issues to deal with. Again, though, Foxconn's in the picture, and that makes it something where their efficiency could really play out as a difference maker. And it's probably why Apple is still involved in trying to make this happen at this point.
As you mentioned, Apple currently has a set-top box on the market. What can you tell us about the hardware? How's it doing in terms of sales and users right now?
Yeah, so it's basically they do have a $99 box, so it's a very very low-end box, something like a RockU or something like that. So it allows users access to some internet video, but it doesn't have like your traditional channels. So they got like Netflix and Hulu and some apps that they have there to allow you to see some programming. And they sold just about 1 million last quarter, so not really giant numbers and stuff like that, but I think that that there's potential for a more advanced device, but what's out there right now really isn't the product that they want.
Yahoo CEO Marissa Mayer has announced a complete renovation to their email products. John, can you tell us what will be changing with Yahoo's email?
Yeah, they've gone to a simpler, smoother look, cleaner interface, less ads, really trying to change that up and make it a better experience overall. So, it's a bit of an evolution and a new version of the Yahoo Mail is something that's been needed for some time. They've been losing a lot of users and stuff like that. So I think that they're looking at any opportunity they can to make that a better experience.
Many people believe that rolling out a new version of Yahoo Mail is by far the most important thing Mayer has done since she's become CEO in July. John, do you agree with that statement?
Potentially. A lot of their audience is email. Of course, they have search, they have a number of very important portals and things like that. They need to keep eyes on the site. They need to somehow integrate, their advertising at the same time, which is a big piece of their business. More and more people are going with a mobile access to their Yahoo. They don't even see the ads. So, they need to get people to gravitate back to the web experience so they can do the things that they do, and their simplified homepage and all these different movements that they're making are all in line with, the evolution of what Mayer's trying to do at Yahoo.
Do you think that the webmail redesign will be able to drive users back to yahoo.com or get kids to love yahoo.com, those who love to text and are, back interested in old school email and laptops?
Well, certainly can't hurt, but the truth is texting is not going anywhere. Smartphones, again, have become the way people access email. They certainly text through that. So they got some real issues to deal with, and I think that smoothing out that email experience is a good first move. So if they're using a school laptop or school PC to access the Yahoo, perhaps that would be good enough to draw them back in and get them back in touch with their email.
A Russian company is looking to dive into the smartphone pool. Yotta Devices is betting on its coming smartphone to break the mold of mobile technology. John, what's going to be different about this Russian smartphone?
Well, the big thing is that it's coming from a very small company, and it's coming up with some pretty novel things that it's rolling out in the actual hardware for the new phone. It has 2 screens, one regular interface screen and one that's more like a reader, and purportedly, one screen being an e-reader type of screen. It's got a long, very very good battery life. So it's a bit unique and something very different, and it's going to be interesting to see how well it does.
What platform will this new device run on?
Oh, it's running on Android, Jelly Bean, and that's not a surprise because of Android being free, and as far as the development and having that relationship in Russia, I think that. That's no big surprise that they would adopt something like Android.
How difficult do you think it will be for this smartphone to break into the market?
Well, it is a very small company. They don't appear to have a lot of, in terms of relationships and as far as getting this thing launched. I think that it'll be like a niche product. Only certain people will buy it and look at it and things like that, and be able to use it on whatever networks it's going to be. It'll be able to adopt as well. So,
what devices will the Russian phone aim to compete with?
Well, I think that it's going to really shoot for the high end of the market. When you add something, when you have something that has this much purported functionality, there's going to be a lot of people that are in that same space, and I think that they're going to be shooting for the iPhones of the world and the higher end Google phones and things like that.
What else can you tell us about the phone's features?
Yeah, well, it's based on a Qualcomm 8960. Of course, it's got the double screen. And I think that beyond anything else, it does have like a high power camera. It does come with the reader, which, is always giving you status and things like that. But I think that the big story on this one is the fact that it's got the two screens. You flip the phone over and, it's always on. You can always look at, the news, the time, the weather, whatever it is that you want to do instead of turning the phone on and off the screen. So I think that, the big story on this one is the fact that, you've got two screens and you can go crazy doing that.
So do you think we'll be seeing a Russian smartphone invasion?
This is a very small company, and I think that they're not known, that area of the world is really not known for a lot of consumer technology. It's hard to really think that, that they can put a lot of the polish that one expects from a user experience and, get the relationships in place that it takes to get certain, particular specialized apps for your phone and development in that space. I think that in the long term, we may see some things emerge and kind of one-offs like this, but it's going to be slim and few and far between.
Well, John, thanks so much for your time today, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you very much.
Keep up to date with the latest in tech innovation and get the latest breaking analysis by joining us daily at News Desk on SiliconANGLE TV.
Hi everyone, this is Jimmy Young in Instructional Technology, and today I want to show you the quick, easy steps to connect your iPad to a projector wirelessly using Apple TV. There are a few classrooms on campus at the time of this tutorial that have Apple TV installed, and there's a way to mirror your screen, show exactly what you see on your iPad screen on the projector, and it's real easy. So the first prerequisite is your iPad has to be on the same network as the Apple TV, and at the time of this tutorial that was the Employee network. That's probably what yours is already on, Employee. And the other thing, next thing you do is basically turn on the projector. You got to have it on, and then you're ready to connect. Now I'm going to double click the home button. That's the physical button at the bottom of the iPad, 2 clicks, and then my screen grays out and I get the dock appearing on the bottom of the screen. I'm going to scroll that dock over to the right, and there's a display chooser icon right there. I click on that and I see all the Apple TVs that are available across campus, and right now we're in Shawnee 109, so I'm going to choose that one, and I'm going to turn mirroring on, and we are now sending our signal to the Apple TV. Now let's look what's going on the screen right now. You may have to switch the source on the projector. Some projectors do this automatically and some don't. You'll have to pick up the remote and choose the source, the HDMI source. Like I said, some projectors do it automatically, and some you'll have to use the remote to switch it manually. And there we go. We're seeing the exact same thing. We're screen mirroring. So now I could demonstrate something on my iPad, and it's mirroring everything we see on the projector and the iPad.